welcome to Chaotic Riff TV. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and today we got with us lead singer Joey Factor from a band New Dilemma. Now, you guys are out of Orlando, Florida. Is there much of a metal scene there, Joey?
Yeah, man, we have a great scene around here. We actually just had Orlando Rocks Friday night, man. We rocked the House of Blues in Orlando with some of the best bands around, man, and proud to be part of the Orlando metal scene, or come out of the Orlando metal scene.
I'm glad to have you as part of the metal scene, period. But let me ask you, Joey, what age were you when you knew that you wanted to be a musician, specifically a singer?
Oh man, I don't know if I ever really had an option. There's pictures of me back at 5 years old with a microphone on stage singing. So it's just kind of always been there for me. Like plays, theaters, and school. I really came from
Like a
theater as
karaoke
far as
guy
high
that
school.
you love to always be singing in the
Actually,
background?
I don't really do a lot of karaoke. I just sort of I enjoy singing my own thing. And I always say I sing because I have a passion for it. I never been like I'm this Carrie Underwood vocalist and go out and do karaoke stuff. I've never done too much of it, but my kids are hounding me to do some karaoke.
Oh, that's fun. Now, did you always were you kind of always into hard rock and metal? Did you kind of when you were starting out sing a little bit of everything, just kind of to get your feeling for what you could do both?
um, from a teenager, Green Day and the punk rock kind of kicked in,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much it for me, man. So it kind of progressed from there and got heavier and liked more intricate riffs. And I mean, it just sort of it's a forever changing evolution even now. So the things you find that you enjoy and want to do like in that place. But I've just always been a lover of music. Like I said, I came from a lot of theater. I love to perform, and
Okay.
that's where it really based out of, was performing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love music, right? But let me ask you, like a lot of musicians, I was curious, did you start out as a singer? Did you start out maybe like as a guitar player playing other instruments?
No, I always had a writing ability. I have zero skills on guitars and bass and drums and all that. I leave that to my guys. They're not with me. If it's all right, I'd like to go ahead and introduce them.
Sure.
Our lead guitar player is Zach Robin, phenomenal guitar player. Um, just a great guy.
Hey,
Roach
Zach.
on the bass. If you know Roach, you know Roach. That's who he is.
Roach.
And Sean Kimmerling on the drums, man. He's just perfect, always on time, and never leaves you hanging. But those are the other VIPs to this that make it all go round.
Now, Joey, with that being said, I got to ask you about like when it comes to writing songs. Um, typically a lot of singers and that they do like start out with a riff. Do you usually have your guitar player come in, and does he start off with a riff, or do you? How do you write? What's your?
Um, I always have a book of ideas and thoughts
Yeah.
and emotions. I'm a very literal writer. Every song that we have is something that I've been through or has happened in my life, which I'm sure a lot of frontmen and singer writers say. But that's all the more true for me. We have a heck of a story, and yeah, Zach is just like he's our musical genius, and he gives you like so much. He's always working. He plays guitar every single day, and he's always sending riffs, and there's stuff that just hits you, like when that song hits you. So sometimes that feeling hits me, and then it leads me to something that I've been writing, or
Mm.
words or emotions, and it sort of progresses from there. And then we all start doing our part. I mean, it's a real four-part team. Um, but yeah,
All the
he
great
gives us
bands
great
are,
music to
right?
start with. Yeah.
All the great bands
Yeah.
takes more than one guy typically. I mean, it differs from band to band, but like you're talking a little bit about writing songs kind of from your heart and things that you live through. And as a music fan myself, those to me are some of the best songs ever. When a guy writes something that it's like a page out of his life, or he lived that, and
Yeah.
he's telling a story about it. Those are some of the best songs, and as opposed, and I think maybe that's why I got to tell you, Joey, be honest. Until your publicist reached out to me, I never heard of the band New Dilemma. So in doing my homework for prepping for interview, I went on YouTube and I checked out some of the music, obviously, because I want to know what I'm talking about. And and you got a new fan of me, and the fact that one thing
That's
I can
awesome.
tell people that's really cool about New Dilemma, I think except for saying you guys are definitely a metal band, it's hard to pigeonhole the band because I can say like you guys. First of all, you don't sound like a lot of times you'll be listening to a band for the first time. Who do these guys remind me of? I can't say oh they're the next Metallica or whatever. You guys have your own, which I think is really cool, fresh kind of
Yeah, I
original
appreciate
sound.
that.
And I don't know if that's something you set out to do or it's just kind of what happened.
It's been an evolution as everything is, and we decided first of all, we don't first of all, do I need to watch my language on here?
They're on the internet. You're cool. Yeah.
We don't really give a shit about genre and
Yeah.
as far as that goes. Like, oh, we are in this. There are so many subgenres of metal, and we have talked to people, and you
Exactly.
ask 10 people, and you get 10 different responses. We record what we want to record. We play
Sure.
what we want to play, and we're not trying to bend it for anybody to make it what they want. I say this all the time is people forget that music is art. Like I really forget lately, like I see all the threads and people just hating, and I'm like, I say, you wouldn't go in a store and like look at paintings and be like, this painter sucks, and I would never like
Yeah.
you just would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that they forget that whether you like it or you don't like it, it's art, it's reflection of self. For me it's healing, for me it's
Sure.
therapy, like it's so much more than just here's a song for you guys to enjoy. There's a piece of me in that song that I put out. So um yeah, man, I just I've been on that rant a little bit about art lately because there's just, and I'm not even talking about towards us necessarily. It's just like you get on some of the feeds from some of these, I'll just say
Sure. Yeah.
bigger
Yeah.
satellite radio stations and whatnot, and I just don't understand the hate that
I
goes
mean,
alongside of it.
I get you. I mean, even a band like Motley Crue, a few years ago, they said they were never going to tour again. They were going to release any new music. And then, a few months back, they put out a new video and everybody's, you said you were never going to release any new music. I'm like, how dare they? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, man, it's just art. Let people be. If you have the guts to get on stage, if you have the guts to write a song and put some money behind it, whether you're the biggest rock star or you play the local coffee shop, there's nothing but respect from me.
yeah.
Again, you don't have to like my music and I don't have to exactly like your music, but I totally respect all artists for what they're doing.
And I think before you can honestly not like something, I would say, give it a listen. Give it an honest listen. Don't necessarily just agree with trashing a band because everybody else is doing it. At the very
Absolutely,
least,
man.
listen to it. And I think it makes sense, like kind of what you're saying, Joey, that when you guys are creating the music and writing the songs, of course you want everybody like the songs, but
Oh, for sure.
you gotta you gotta before you start worrying about necessarily delivering the goods to your fans, you got to be able to like the songs and dig them. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to serve yourself first in
Yeah.
order to serve the song, in order to serve the people. I write very, very personal, and even within my band, they take something different out of the song than I do for writing it. And at the end of the day, that's the goal, is that somebody can relate to a song and get some solace out of it, or be like, I'm not alone. I mean, that's what we all crave out of music. I mean, from my favorite musicians on, like, and I'm as much a music fan as I am a musician, and I'm on both sides.
Sure. I mean, I think the new dilemma here is kind of people listening to the music with, open, honest ears and being willing to accept that a band doesn't have to have 20 songs that sound like this same thing. I mean, to me probably the only band that can really get away with that is ACDC, because
Yeah.
they're who they are. But
Yeah, I mean, we thrive on change and progressing it, and it all not being the same and putting in a box. And I'm going to use the perfect example right now, and that's Ronnie Radke and Falling in Reverse. And love him, hate him, whatever your opinion is,
yeah,
he's breaking the molds, and he doesn't give a crap. And people are like, oh, he sucks. Well, he sucks while he's filling up arenas every night. So I
yeah.
would love to suck so bad that we're filling up arenas every night. You know what I mean?
See, that's my whole thing. I mean, people even laugh about guys that play in tribute bands, and it's two different worlds, obviously. But my point is, before I, for example, criticize a guy getting up on stage and singing, because that's something I could only dream about. I don't have that ability to get up on stage and sing any song, let alone write an original tune. So for people that got that ability, like you said, I have utmost respect because I think before you kind of trash somebody and make fun of them, why don't you get up and try it? Let's see what you can do,
Give
Yeah.
give it a whirl, man. I find myself, I'm just at home on stage, man. I just love it. I feel comfortable. The more people there are, the more comfortable I am. It's like they're there for you in support. It is so much harder to play in front of 20 people than it
Sure.
is to play in front of 2,000.
I bet,
It's the
yeah.
weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, and let me ask you, as far as like, song interpretation is really cool because while you know what you wrote these songs about, a fan might listen to a song and because of their own life experience get a totally different meaning out of your song, or they might say, oh, that made me think of my dad that just passed away or something. And you might
For
hear that
sure.
and think, well, that's not what the song's about. But hey, I dig the fact that you get something different out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really what I intend to happen.
Uh,
I write pretty purposeful in that manner because I believe it's hard for you to be so specific in a moment that everybody's going to be able to relate that widely with it. So, I always keep that in mind. But like I said, I always make sure the song is serving my message first,
yeah,
which
sure.
is
And
mostly we're I always say we're really dark with the little light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah, it goes back to what you're saying about music really being an art form. Um,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter if you're talking about classical music, rock music, or country music. It's all an art in itself. I mean,
That's right, man.
even you take a country song and a metal song, and you see what two different guys can do on the guitar.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, look what Ronnie and Jelly Roll just did. I mean, get out of here with that. Like breaking the molds on country charts and rock charts and all that. Like I don't have any country um writing in me, but
Yeah.
that's that's amazing to be breaking molds and doing what people say can't be done. Like I got nothing but respect for that.
And let's talk about the latest single, "Run and Hide." Pretty cool track. I was reading that it's
Thanks.
about kind of people dealing with their demons or mental illness. You want to talk a little bit about the song and the video? Because the video I watch and really really impressive. It's like something you would have seen on MTV back in the day or Headbangers Ball to be more
Yeah,
specific.
yeah. Run and Hide is I kind of call it, as far as writing, my extension to Bury My Demons off the first EP. It's kind of like a part two on that. The line, it may be God or the angel of death. Either way, demons coming back to collect. It's like I Bury My Demons on the first one, like that's one of those songs I live. I live every day. I still live it. And it carries on and so there's a little um bit leading on into Run and Hide, but it's just like Run and Hide for me was really just that. Like sometimes you just have to hide away from these dark thoughts, these dark feelings, these dark things. And you got to look for the light on the other side, man. It took me a long time to get where I feel how I feel today, with what I've been through personally, for how long I was out of music and everything that got me back here. And again, I live these words and yeah, man, you gotta sometimes just live for yourself and you gotta face the demons and sometimes you gotta hide from them. And it's like you wish you had a real answer for people, even in your music,
Yeah.
but these are stuff we're all gonna fight for the rest of our life. We're gonna go through good times, we're gonna go through bad times, dark times, sad times. So um that's kind of where that one falls for me. It's
And
just
like
that
yeah,
keep going.
Plain Victim. That's another song I really dug. What's that about? Because to me, kind of my take on it was people that maybe see themselves as victim, or you can't attack me. If you attack me, for example, you're this or you're that. I'm good. You're evil.
Yeah, which song was that? I'm sorry.
Plain Victim.
Oh, Playing Victim. Yeah, that was off the first EP. And that was just literally about a relationship, and some of this is what led to New Dilemma existing, but this is about people that, well, essentially my kid's mother, we don't really beat around the bush too much. She she got into drugs, got into jail, got into trouble, and I
Sorry to hear
became
that. Wow.
I became a single dad to a special my daughter has special needs, and um it was always poor me, and this song kind of wrote itself for me. But always playing the victim, running from the truth. I mean, just the words are so literal.
Yeah, I don't mean to get personal here, but you brought up what you just did about your daughter being special needs, and I work with people like that at my day job, and I was just curious. I
Oh
noticed
wow.
a lot of my observation working with people like that, they have a real love for music. Have you noticed that with your daughter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's sort of the whole reason New Dilemma exists. So after that, single dad for a while. It's just me and her. And I gave up music when she was diagnosed at 2 years old. She's 23 now. To answer
Wow.
your question, she loves music. Before I get too off, she loves music. They told her she couldn't never be on stage. She was in 20 something runnings of It's a Wonderful Life in the theater. She's done multiple online musicals. She's a great singer. She has spinal muscular atrophy too, and she lets nothing stop her.
Well, that
So,
without getting too personal, I just will end it on this and say that's a wonderful story in the sense that you have somebody telling them what they can't do, and in spite of that, they persevered.
yeah, and that's the inspiration of it all, man. One night it's just me and her living in this house, and she goes, "Dad, why don't you go show the world what you got again?" And I'm like, "Are you effing crazy? Like, I'm too old. It's too late. It's too everything, right?" So I started making excuses, and I walked out her bedroom door and I said, "Why am I always in this new dilemma?" Literally out loud. So
Yeah.
that's why the band name is New Dilemma, because I walked out of her room and said that, and man, the rest is history. And we're coming up on 8 years this October
What an
for Halloween.
inspirational
So
story, Joey. I mean, and I see what you're saying. It almost, even people I've dealt with that I worked with, um, you hear a story like that and you think, well, if she can do what she's done in spite of, her special
uh,
needs, what's stopping me?
exactly, and that's pretty much where it became for me. Like, what is her father? How great is it going to look if I tell her I can't, or I'm not strong enough, or I don't have what it takes? So, um, I tell everybody I might not be the best singer in the world, might not be the best this. I love to perform, and my passion is just so overboard for this stuff. And I just love what I do, man. And once you with this story and where we came from, like all the hate, like there's no hate in the world. There's no messages they're gonna put on Facebook that's gonna like bring me down from where I'm at. Like I've been in the hospital when you're not sure your kid's gonna come out of it.
There you
Like
go.
there's no internet bully that's gonna bring me down from all these awesome things that have happened with New Dilemma that can't be taken from us.
Wow, wow.
But at the end of the day, she's the inspiration, and we love what we do, and we're just going to keep doing it. And hopefully we can progress further and get back on tour and all that good stuff.
So 8 years of not doing it. Let me ask you, what was that first show like when you got back after 8 years up on the stage for a very first?
Oh, no, actually, it was New Dilemma is 8 years old. From the time then,
Oh, okay, I
let me
missed it.
go back. I hadn't been on stage for 18 years at that point.
Wow, wow. So okay, after 18 years, what was that like? I mean,
Um, amazing. And when I started this 8 years ago, and I was like, I will say, I don't want to say minimal goals, but I played the House of Blues Orlando one time when I was 20 years old, right before my daughter was born, and I hung it up. But I was like, if I could just get back to the House of Blues Orlando, like the what ifs have been answered.
for
And
sure.
we did that Friday night and brought the house down. So
Wow.
I'm like on cloud nine, man. All this stuff and radio and everything else that's happening and pavement and our awesome manager Paul Crosby, who's drummer for Saliva for 20 something years. Like I'm living in a dream right now.
Congratulations, and on all of that. I mean, and Pavement, they're a great little label. How did you guys hook up with them?
We worked with him back in 2020 on the first EP, which is where Playing Victim charted along with Is Your Story Over. And we had a tour. We were about to go out with Smile Empty Soul. And, again, like right then we were on top of the world, but then bam, COVID done.
Yeah,
So that tour got shut down. And then we did end up on tour with Cold the following year, which
Okay.
was another just amazing life experience. Like
Yeah.
a huge fan my whole life. So like I'm here all of a sudden I'm hanging with Scooter. Like what's going on?
And
Um,
wow.
so yeah, then it just sort of Pavement really wanted to help us this time because of how much everything fell through the
Sure,
first
sure.
time.
Yeah, sure. Makes
And
sense.
yeah, so now we're just, we got an amazing team behind us, and Paul guiding us is the biggest blessing we've ever had,
Wow, wow.
for
Good, good,
real.
good for you, because when you have those kind of people working behind the scenes with you, that I think speaks volumes.
Yeah, well, he's been there and done that. He's been through the pitfalls,
Yeah.
the up and downs with Saliva. So it's like he has literally already lived it. And it's like immediately he's keeping your foot out of those potholes. Like in the first 2 weeks, you're like, wow, I was doing a lot of things wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I always dug about Pavement too. The fact that you got a guy like Tim King from Soil, that's behind the label. He's a guy that's actually lived the life, and he gives
Yeah.
other bands that same opportunity.
Yeah. And him, Mark Noir. I mean, it's been kind of crazy working with bands that I grew up listening to, and now like I lean on all these guys for their experience and what the right moves are. And it's a tough industry. Like I don't care how good you are, it's tough to break through. So you just got to hope that these songs people connect with them, and one of them takes off running.
Yeah, and as a singer songwriter, that's got to be a great feeling when your song lands on the Billboard chart.
Unreal, man. The first time my manager at the time called me and told me all that first chart reading and everything was there, man, I literally bust into tears. I was just like it was surreal. And then like highest of highs to COVID shutting down tours, lowest of lows, man, we've just totally been on the craziest roller coaster you could be on, for sure.
This is a great comeback story because I mean, even if you never got the chance to do this again, you even have that song hit the Billboard chart, you say, okay, I did that. But it's
I
great
have
that
no regrets.
it's great you have this chance to kind of have a comeback, the comeback hit, as they say.
Yeah, man. I think I even said that at the House of Blues Friday night. I said, this is a comeback story. And I believe that to be true. I'm a little bit older. I'm not the beautiful 27-year-old, but I'm looking in the camera. I got
Joey,
pretty
you're still in the
smooth.
game, man. You're
I
still
got
in the
pretty
game.
smooth for my age, right? And I'm
Yeah,
still in the game.
you're still
And
in the
we
game.
can
That's
run
what
with the,
counts. Yeah.
but we can run with the best of them, and we're ready to go, man.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're in good company. And I guess the final question for today is, if people want to go out and get the new album Toxic, what's the best way to do that? Can they get physical copies, or just is it available digitally right now?
It is available digitally everywhere. I just got the CDs in time to get them to the House of Blues Friday night.
Wow.
They will be up on newdilemma.com for sale probably tomorrow or the next day. And you can at newdilemmaofficial.com is like everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever your X, Twitter, whatever you're looking for at New Dilemma Official, and you're going to find us out there.
Wow, wow, wow. Joey Factor, it's been great getting to know you. I really had a blast talking to you, and we're definitely going to have you back down the line, because I think the story is not just over yet.
I hope not, man. I'm sort of leaning on that song lately, to be honest with you.
A very fitting title. Yeah, that's another song I checked out that I really like. I'm like, wow, this is
Well,
fitting. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. We thank you so much for having us on, and everybody that's going to check it out. Thank you so much. Go check us out, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, take care, Joey. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thanks, man.
Anytime. Okay.